is the Magnet.
Malam Balarabe Ilellah is a seasoned broadcaster with vast knowledge of both national and international laws in broadcasting and more than 30 years experience serving in different capacities in the broadcast industry. Malam Balarabe Ilellah hails from Bauchi State and was born on 26 June 1962. He started his career in broadcasting with the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) Bauchi as an editor. He also served as a producer of news and current affairs programs. In the quest to widen his knowledge, skills, and horizon in his career, he proceeded to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics (USSR) Moscow and worked as editor and newscaster, foreign language expert with Radio Moscow International. From there, he relocated to Beijing, People's Republic of China, where he worked with China Radio International as a senior news editor, foreign expert for 2 years. He also served as BBC Hausa service correspondent in the People's Republic of China. Malam Balarabe Shehu Ilellah, being an astute personality and a passionate believer in spreading knowledge, had earlier joined the academia in order to impact knowledge. He got a job as a senior lecturer at the Foreign Studies University, Beijing, China, where he taught media communication, translations, and languages from April 1998 to April 2001. Malam Balarabe Shehu Ilellah possesses a strong, modern, and international managerial ability, outstanding communication, and interpersonal capacity to coordinate and bring progressive ideas to achieving objectives and targets. He is not only a journalist and broadcaster par excellence, he is also a successful private entrepreneur with businesses in Nigeria. He was appointed Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) on 11th June 2021 and comes with his wealth of experience to contribute his quota to the development of the broadcast industry to meet challenges of the broadcast digital era. Malam Balarabe Shehu Ilellah has visited more than 13 countries and is married with children.
Today, we are going to be talking broadcasting. You know that in broadcasting, we have what is called regulation, and it's a great pleasure to welcome Malam Balarabe Shehu Ilellah, the Director General of National Broadcasting Commission. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, my sister.
I know a lot of people will know the function of NBC, but lately, how do you think this job has been made so easy for you or challenging in the area of what we face in the economy lately? I mean, what is the role of NBC?
Well, thank you very much for asking me this very important question. And it's one of the questions being asked by many who are not known to the industry. When you talk of NBC, most of the time cannot even tell you what NBC means. What is the meaning of the word NBC? Some, even those in government, say Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, but in actual sense, it's
Or
not
National
Nigerian
Broadcasting
National Broadcasting Commission. NBC is a regulatory body that is saddled with the responsibility of regulating the media industry. Like any other regulator, professions are regulated. The Judicial Service Commission regulating the judiciary. You have the MBA regulating the legal sector, and you have the
Arcon, for instance.
that regulates advertisers. Yes. So the purpose or the work of the National Broadcasting Commission is to regulate the industry, and that is the broadcast industry. What we do as part of regulating the industry is to come up with regulations on how best the profession can be organized, can be run, and can execute its responsibilities. Not only that, let me go from the beginning. When people want to, or anybody who wants to establish a station, be it radio station or a television station, you come to the commission, collect a form, write an application. Then we process the application at a fee of just a very little amount of 50,000 naira. Then we process the application and then give you application form to fill. Then you send it back to the commission, and then we process it and send it to the Ministry of Information for onward transmission to the president for approval. Yes. So we don't approve license, but NBC issued license that being approved by the president. That is number one. And number two, We also regulate the conduct of the platform, that is the broadcast stations. You know, you don't just allow broadcasters to, I mean, do, I mean, do their work without any regulation. When you ask people
not
to
free
come
for
and play,
all.
it's not just like, you like, let me just give you a short example. You get football players, you have team A and team B. You can imagine the two teams playing without a referee or without a linesman. So that
So
is
you
the
are serving as the
responsibility
referee.
of NBC. We are
Okay.
serving as your referee. We are referee standing between you, the government, and
And the
members of the
populace.
public. We make sure that what you do, what is transmitted, what you broadcast, what is an air, must be in
Airworthy.
accordance to our regulation,
Codes.
our culture, our tradition, our religion. So there are certain things that has to be adhered to as enshrined in
Broadcast code.
NBC, the broadcast code.
Interesting. You know, this climb, you came in when broadcasting was really difficult. You know, naturally people are difficult to regulate or to control. How easy has it been for you?
It's not only the broadcast industry that is difficult. Human beings don't want to be
Complex.
regulated. Even you and your husband, you and your brothers, your wife would not like you to regulate her, and the husband would like also
To dominate.
to dominate, and he would not also like to be regulated by the wife. Even your children, if you overregulate, they react. So to regulate a sector like media is one of the most difficult things to do, because you are dealing with enlightened people. You are dealing with people who are trained to say some things out. But as a regulator, you now try to tell them that, okay, I'm not saying that you don't say whatever you want to say, but you should be very careful of what comes out from your mouth. You should be very careful what is on air, because it's likely to cause disaffection. It's likely to cause problem among your listeners. And our journalists nowadays have the tendency or the desire to be the first to break the
Break the
news.
news.
Yeah,
First in
and then
breaking
in their
news.
attempt to be the first to break the news, they go
You
out
don't
of
cross
their
check.
way, and then we have problems. So media is a very, very important and sensitive sector of our life. People are, you know, you find people relaxing in their homes, in their offices, and then just listening to you
You are
full
intruding into their
attention,
privacy.
with full attention, listening to what you are, I mean, what is being aired. So at that time, you are likely to do two things: either to educate them or to poison their mind. So that's why it is very, very important to have a proper regulation in the industry. Poison their mind by giving them fake news, something that didn't happen. You now present it as something that had happened. You now, or at the same time, you bring like, I mean, hate speech is one of the things that we are trying to. You allow somebody to use your platform to say something negative about another person. That is considered as hate speech. These are some of the things that are likely to cause, ill feelings,
Disaffection.
disaffection among people. And you can, if you remember what happened in one of our African countries, I would like to mention that the name of that African country. It was media that caused the havoc. I mean, that happened, that almost destroyed that country completely. So what we are trying to do in Nigeria is to make sure that we regulate. We don't go that way. We make sure that those that are in the industry are well trained and are very much conversant, knowledgeable. They know what they should do, what they should not do in the course of execution their duties.
Okay, you know, this era of social media, social online, people say they are not bothered about traditional media again. Everything goes on online, and there's tendency to infiltrate into the social media. How comfortable, how challenging is that for you?
Well, you know, the system is dynamic. Dynamic in the sense that it's a changing world. So you can't be static and I keep yourself with the traditional media only. The social
Social
media
media.
is, or the new media, if you
Media.
like, is something that is new to our society. And when NBC was established, there was nothing like
New media.
new media or social media. So there isn't any specific rule or there's no regulation governing the activities of operators of this social media. It's now that NBC is trying to bring its book up to date by by reviewing the act that established NBC. I can remember last time before the end of the present assembly, we compiled some some changes that we want to, we want the parliament to approve. We send it to the National Assembly for approval. But unfortunately, they couldn't do it before the end of their
session.
Yes. So what we are trying to do now is to send it back to the new National Assembly so that we incorporate this new media into our.
Very good.
Into our.
Do you think that will bring sanity?
Yeah, there will be sanity because it's a very complex.
But China is able to do it.
That's why we came out with DSB, which will make it even easier and wider when it comes to coverage. The owners of DTT, that's direct terrestrial television, they have to work hard in order for them to catch up with the changing technology. The changing technology, yes. And it is only after the DSO is completely executed, then their problem will not be completely alleviated.
How soon do you think it will this be?
Well,
in a short while?
This is my second year as
DG
DG in NBC. And DSO is one of my priorities. Not only me, it's the priority of our government, yes. But when I came in, there are so many complications in the execution of the project. There were so many contracts that I would not like to mention it here. But what we are trying to do now is to look at to sanitize the whole thing so that we can move ahead and complete the transformation.
Okay, let's go for a short break. When we come back, you talk briefly about the stakeholders. This is still the Magnet mentoring on television. Balarabe Ilellah is mentoring us on today's edition of the program, and we are talking broadcasting, the #1 regulator of broadcast in Nigeria. We'll be back shortly.
Last year, we discussed basic issues affecting you and us. We came to a conclusion that there was need. From time to time, we should meet. We discussed issues of license fees last year. We also discussed issues of 2.5% remittance, which are statutory payments to the Commission.
Well, we are here not just to see our faces, but I want us to look at it from the angle of family reunion. We are all one. We are all in this noble profession. It's an opportunity for all of us that are here to sit down and look at one another, and let's discuss what is the problem with the industry. It's not just to tell you our problems. We also want to hear your problems.
Let me restate that BON will not oppose NBC in any way, that will not make stations to pay the yearly fee that they agree to pay according to the position of law. And again, let me thank NBC for agreeing to call this particular meeting, which I may say in a way that it is at instance of BON having been discussing this matter of license issue probably in the last 3 months, when NBC has been complaining and telling us at the level of BON that they want to take some actions, and we have been appealing to them that let's discuss with stations and most especially with those in government.
I want to suggest that NBC scales, this up. In a situation where you have the Nigeria Governors Forum, go and speak to them. Go and tell the governors. Share with them your problems at NBC. When you speak to them, and then I think they'll begin to appreciate the problems that we're having.
When you are talking about raising money to import parts or equipment for radio or television, I wonder how many can afford to do that replacement. And that takes me to the 2.5% that NBC requires from private radio and television. Is that 2.5% of loss or 2.5% of profit?
You see, what we are saying is not you must give us this 2.5%. What the first requirement is for you to declare your account. Let us know how much you have. If you are running at loss, let us know you are running at loss. Then we don't collect anything from you. But if you earn 1,000 naira, pay us 2.5% of this 1,000 naira. That's all. If you are at loss, nobody is going to ask you any amount. Nobody is going to ask you anything. But the most important for you is to declare your account.
You know, this is an industry meeting, and there's no way you have an industry meeting, you will not have issues. In fact, it's the major reason why we're here to talk about some of those germane issues. And one thing that has been coming up everywhere is about funding. Funding, because some stations are owing the regulator, the NBC, and they can't pay because of the prevailing economic situation. Not that they don't want to pay, because it's monies that must be paid, because it's the law, it's the right thing to do. But the way the business environment is, especially for broadcasting stations, it's very difficult.
I feel NBC really needs to do more, because day in, day out is about money, it's about fines, it's about what the stations are not doing. I feel it should be more like, what are you doing to help the station to create what you want them to create?
You're welcome back. The program is still the Magnates, and we are conversing, sharing thoughts with the number one regulator in Nigeria, Director General of National Broadcasting Commission, Malam Balarabe Ilellah. You're welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, we are opportune to engage you at the stakeholders meeting. Tell us a bit, what is it about? Is it just that you have so much money to feed us and then you call us to come and talk and interact?
It's not that we have much money to give you, but we don't have much money to give you. And we have much money to collect from you. And the stakeholders are not doing the needful, are not living up to the expectation of their license or their responsibilities. What was agreed with them when they were given this license. There are two main issues, two main messages which I came with when we to the forum. Number one is they should know that our stakeholders from the southern part of the country, which we just had a meeting with them. We had a similar one 2 days back in Kano with our stakeholders from the northern part of the country. So the purpose of the meeting is to interact, to interface with them and meet all the broadcasters in the southern part of the country. Why are they not paying for the renewal of their license? License fee is not that expensive. In fact, broadcasters from the southern part of the country are even faring better. They are doing better than their counterparts from the northern part of the country, because here the economy is doing a little bit better if you compare it with what is obtainable in the other part of our country. So the message is that, okay, those who have license, normally license lasts for 5 years, and then you pay for a certain amount of money as your license fee. This is statutory. It's an obligation. It's not a fine. It's not something that you decide to pay or not to pay. No. Okay, you have license and you paid for NBC 25 or 15 million naira for the license for 5 years. For the first years. So now, after the expiration of these years that you are given this license, you are expected to come back to the commission and pay money to renew the license. But most of them, once they get the license, then they disappear. And they don't want to come back to the commission. So the message is that anybody, any organization that is running a station without a valid license, it's like you are driving a car without a valid driving license. Yeah. So it's wrong for you to do that. And we will consider those people, these perpetrators, as illegal broadcasters. And when we say you are an illegal broadcaster, that means you are a security threat to the country. And at the same time, you are an economic saboteur. You are sabotaging the government economically because you are denying government revenue. Yeah, when you give NBC money, you are not paying this money to NBC. You are paying the government of the country. And it was this money that we are going to use to
run the
to
government.
run the commission,
Yes.
and then give certain percentage of the money to our government. So government needs revenue. And you are making millions of money. We know some of these stations in the southern part of the country are making a lot of money, but they don't want to pay license fee. So, and when you ask them questions, you
Are
say,
they
okay,
taking you for granted? Because they can pay tax, they can pay other
it's not
levies.
only that
Why?
they can pay tax. When you have a license, you can. When we ask you to pay for your license, you say the cost of diesel is very high. The cost of other essentials are very high. Now you talk of paying the diesel only if you have license. You talk of paying your salaries only when you have license. When you don't have this license, salary will not be there. Payment of rent, payment of diesel will not even be there. So it's just like occupying somebody's house, a rented apartment. Now, once that owner of the house comes and says, okay, it is time for you to pay me my rent, you say, I've used all the money to pay diesel. Do you think that man will listen to you? He will listen to you.
Okay.
You use my money to pay diesel. You use my money to pay for water bills. But if I say, okay, I want to eject you from my house, then what are we going to do? So this is what we are telling them, that it is time for them to think that they only exist as broadcasters because they have license.
Okay.
They have license because they pay their statutory fee.
Okay.
And then the question of 2.5% also. This 2.5% is there also in our code. That you should pay 2.5% of your annual income to the commission. This is what the commission is using, to move the industry forward. And it makes you feel that you have a right over the commission to come and talk to the commission.
Finally, DG, we're not telling Nigerian story enough. And it is through the local content that we will tell the Nigerian story.
You see, it is unfortunate that we are not paying much interest in local content, and it's one of our major problems. It's one of the major problems in the industry. We pay more attention to foreign content, and our laws in the NBC said that more than at least 70% of your content must be local content. But instead of paying attention to developing our talents, we have very young people who are very much talented. We use huge sum of money buying content from other countries. Look at Nollywood. It is Nollywood, Kannywood, we have all sort of things. They don't make anything here in Nigeria. But you go to YouTube, you see how they are making billions of money from YouTube and other platforms. Why? Because they are not patronized here in Nigeria, but they are more patronized on social media platforms. So it's up to our broadcasters, the television stations, the radio stations, to engage themselves in content production. Also, you don't NTA, for example, before when we were young, they were they busied themselves producing content. Kokro Adam, Tele by Moonlight. There are so many things, and we used to watch it. Most of the complaint is that we don't have money to pay NBC, but still they want to maintain this in the broadcast industry. And at the same time, those of them that are complaining have more than 3 or 4 or 5 licenses, and they don't want to return this license to NBC.
But isn't that your fault? I mean, if somebody owns a license and is not paying, why should you give a second one?
No, they applied the license at the same time, different locations.
Okay.
So it was later then we realized that this man has 6 licenses, and some of them are not even putting this license into
Maybe you should review that. Let's see how you are doing
that's
first
why
one before you
we
take
are we are trying to wear human face. We don't want to just carry the stick and start hitting people.
Or you want
we are not meant
or
for
you
that.
think it's more money for you for one
We are not
license?
meant, NBC is not just about money. It's about making people understand. It's about having a very good platforms, create talent, good programs for people, entertainment, and all sort of things. But when people think they should be selfish, they should concern about their income more than the industry, and that is where the problem begins.
Okay. Now, final counsel for everybody, the viewers, the broadcast owners, the talent hunters, and all that. Final counsel, what's your advice?
Well, we should concentrate more, we should look inward, develop local content, and that is the only way our stations, our television and radio stations can make money. And without making money, you can't run these stations.
Thank you very much. It's been Balarabe Ilellah, the Director General of National Broadcasting Commission. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Yes, that has been the Magnate for you. I mean, we had an exclusive interview with the #1 regulator in Nigeria, and of course, highlights of the stakeholders meeting that held at Radisson Blue. I'm sure you have enjoyed what we brought to you today. Another opportunity to watch another edition of this program, same time next week. It's Mentoring on Television. Do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. Until then, bye for now.